Yeah.
What?
Oh, no. LiftTheChucks.com has the juice.
He's super creative, man, with his feet. He's a rhythm guy. He's somebody that you would probably go to the club with. You know how people like hip hop and things like that? Like this is the type of guy that would like techno. Like he would just like roll with the beat, feel the beat, but whatever it is, he's super creative. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Tell the Tape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And on today's episode of Tell the Tape, I'm going to be breaking down, that's right, Jiri Prochazka versus the one and only, the Stone Cold Killer, Alex Pereira. Guys, this was supposed to be the co-main event, and now it officially became the main event. What are the strengths, their opportunities, and their threats? And who is it that's more likely to come out up top? Guys, this episode wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. That's right, Lifted Trucks. You may be a short king, you may be 5'4" of twisted steel and sex appeal, but on the street, guys, I am the king of the damn jungle. So you guys make sure to go to liftedtrucks.com and get your lift on. Enough talk. Let's take it to the big screen. Okay, guys, so now here we have it. One of the most anticipated fights of the year. Will Alex Pereira get rematch on Jiri Prochazka, who ended up beating, that's right, the one and only, the legendary Glover Teixeira? 29-3 versus 8-2. That's crazy. Talk about being set up, though. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him. If he was just because he had that one victory over a guy like Israel Adesanya. Never fought Marvin Vettori, never fought Jared Cannonier, never fought Robert Whittaker, and now the same thing at light heavyweight. They gave them a very favorable matchup where the guy only strikes and kind of loses his mind. But now here, he's with the guy who has fought a lot of people from the UFC to PFL to Dream. I mean, this guy has been around. You know, pretty much he has triple his experience. 6 KOs to 25 KOs. Hey, Jiri Prochazka, super creative. To 3 submissions to 0 submissions. 6'3", 6'4", a 1-inch reach advantage for a guy like Jiri Prochazka. And the same thing. He's got the age, he's got the youth behind him too. But let's get down to the one, to the last samurai, Jiri Prochazka. What are his strengths? You know what it is? He's overall gained a chance to hang out with Jiri and spend a few weeks with him when he came down to Arizona. When I hit him up, he was like, yeah, Henry, I want to learn from you. He's super creative, man, with his feet. He's a rhythm guy. He's somebody that you would probably go to the club with. You know how people like hip hop and things like that? Like this is the type of guy that would like techno. Like he would just like roll with the beat, feel the beat, but whatever it is, he's super creative, man. From throwing knees, from throwing hands, to his hand gestures. I mean, a guy like Jiri Prochazka, that's what makes this dude unique. As he's unique with his rhythm, he diverses his striking with it. So number one is his rhythm. Number two is really the creativity that he has and the influence that he has of being a well-rounded mixed martial arts, but he's super creative. Like he'll use a little bit of Krav Maga, he'll do a little bit of that Kung Fu, and then come boom, and then kick you with that front leg. I was able to kind of shadow box with him for a little bit. I'm just like, okay, this dude's got getting low with me, like, but he's out far, even though I'm shorter than him. You know, we're just kind of like shadow striking at that time. But his rhythm and his creative striking is very unpredictable. And not least, what makes Jiri is his warrior spirit. I mean, this dude, I believe he reminds me of like kind of like a monk. Like you'll probably throw that dude on fire and he'll be in a praying, he'll be in a praying position the whole damn time until he's out. I mean, you talk about the warrior spirit, but you also talk about the discipline that he has, being able to dive in. I know to a lot of people, you guys are like, oh, that's a stupid shit. That ain't fighting. No, that's called willpower. I mean, you can stay somewhere like the 50 below, or I'm sorry, below zero in these waters and just dive, and he's over here spraying all these damn water. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he treats the fight game as serious as anybody, as a mixed martial artist that would do back in the day. And I think the war spirit that he has, the influence that he has, whether it's been movies or books. I remember he gave me the book, The Five Rings, where it talks about the five rings, talks about a bunch of different things. Like if you want to be a great fighter, you gotta know X, Y, and Z. It almost gives you like the contrast of it. So there's one thing that Jiri does have, and it's called influence. But let's get down to his weaknesses, like we all have them, right? Triple C has just a little bit. Jiri Prochazka's weaknesses. Sometimes he gets too comfortable. Sometimes he gets too comfortable off of his movement. Sometimes he won't expect a punch coming, and you know he'll get popped by certain people. He does leave his hands down, and that's where Jiri's gonna have to be careful, because hitting power like Alex Pereira, who likes to stalk, he has a heavy left hook alongside with that right calf kick. It's crazy. But that's one area, Jiri, that's number one for me, is your defense, not your takedown defense. So I do believe you got better wrestling than Alex. But you know what it is? It's your hands. You have to fix it. You're gonna have to respect this guy in order for you to become that light heavyweight champ as you were before, because you never lost your belt. And I'm not saying that he's not super technical, but because he is technical. So maybe this weakness isn't the right thing to do. But sometimes he relies a lot on his ability, which is smart. But can you put some of that basic jabs and things like that with the creativity? Or is it all gonna be creativity? And that's somewhere where he's gonna have to be careful. You guys understand what I'm saying? And without further ado, that lead leg is gonna be open for leg kicks. You know, Alex, but that's his greatest weapon. The left hook may finish you, but for him to break that foundation, he's gonna kick those legs. He's gonna kick them, and the way he does, he sticks his butt out, kicks. Like he doesn't kick like the usual people kick. We actually kick very similar, but you're able to produce power, and it's able to put him in position. And this is something. This is an area where Jiri is gonna have to be careful. Keep your hands up. Watch that left hook, and then cover distance. Cover distance. Off covered is you either gonna be really close to Alex, or you can be further away, but you almost want to be further away and start looking for your takedowns. And that's right, Alex Pereira. You know, Potan, Alex Pereira, his strengths. Obviously, it's his striking, but in particularly his damn leg kicks. Those leg kicks, man, when you get somebody that has leg kicks like that, like it sucks. It's the same reason why I started kicking. Because once you know what it feels like to get hit and that certain part where there's not a lot of fat and there's a lot of bone, you have to attack it. And he does a really, really good job. From being a two-time Glory World Champ to now chasing for his next title in the UFC. Even though he never defended his middleweight title, like he's in a position to put himself amongst, you know, second to the Triple C, but to put himself up there in Combat Mountain. He's got punch-out power, and particularly his left hook. His left hook is nasty. It really is, man. It'll make anybody. It'll make somebody wake up and be like, "Is it Christmas yet?" We're talking about in July. I mean, this is the type of power that this dude has. And the other thing, you know, I do believe confidence is huge. Confidence is huge because he's gonna have Glover Teixeira in his corner. Even though Glover Teixeira did lose to a guy like Jiri Prochazka, it's like having Khabib. It's like for a guy like Islam having Khabib in his corner. I mean, it makes a difference because you need that support system of former champs, somebody telling you, hey, this is what he does, weather the storm. Hey, be careful here. These are the areas that you kind of want to evade. This is where you could expose them. In other words, the same guy that's cornering him has fought the same guy who he's fighting now. Talk about a cheat sheet. Alex Pereira's weaknesses. This is where I would be looking to expose, but he hasn't, like, they've done a good job of finding the right opponents for him where he's been able to kind of cheat sheet or cut the line on everybody. But his takedown defense is super suspect. It's not a little suspect, it's super, super suspect. And I do believe that this is where Yuri's key of winning is more likely to take. But knowing Yuri, he's not just gonna wrestle him. Jiri wants to have fun. Jiri wants to throw his elbows, his punches, his kicks. Jiri wants to do all of that, including and bringing in the actual takedowns. The other thing too with Alex Pereira, unfortunately, he's not complete. He has been favored. He has been given these matchups that have really favored him. And it's the same reason why he was able to become middleweight champion with X amount of fights, and the same reason why he's been able to skip the line, never fought Uncle Live, and they're able to give him those right matches. And the same reason why he's 8-2, and he's already fighting for his second bout in the UFC. But he's just not well-rounded. There's no submission threat to him. He's gonna rely all on this. And it's almost like, sometimes I see it's like, man, shame on all you guys who know that this is all that these dudes have, and you can't take them to that. You can't take them to that dark place. You can't make these guys fight their B-side. And not least, he leaves himself open when he has his opponent hurt. And we even saw it. I mean, I do believe he's a bit chinny. I do believe that Israel Adesanya did test that chin. And he did test that chin, and that chin is not the same. And I do believe that sometimes he'll cover distance, he'll break distance, and he wants to fight in the pocket with somebody. I'd be taking notes of what Israel Adesanya did. Go ahead, keep throwing, go to the body. I know you like to go to the body. I know you like to come up top. I know you like to boom, boom, and then boom, there comes that left hook. As soon as a boom, boom, you know, you catch him. But he leaves himself open, and he's a bit chinny. The tape, you know, strikes landed per minute. Look at this. In other words, both these dudes are super active. Super active. And I will say this, striking for mixed martial arts, it does change. Just because this guy's a glory champion doesn't mean he has the best striking in the world. With MMA, with takedowns, and if you play that game right, it is different. You know, strikes absorbed per minute. In other words, how many of these punches actually get in? You know, how's their defense? I mean, look, it's not bad according to this. And now would you guys look at this takedown accuracy? This is kind of weird. You know, it's kind of weird where I literally had to take a break and ask my producer, what the hell is this? But apparently when they do go in and actually take somebody down because nobody's expecting it, they'll get it. They'll get it. Takedown defense, 68% to 70%. Remember though, guys, keep in mind, this guy has triple the fights that a guy like Alex Pereira has. Submission average, 2. Alex Pereira, honestly, with 0. He doesn't have any attempts through submissions. So again, guys, when I look at this fight, I think, man, these are two giants, man. These are two. There's one guy that has a power ability, and that's very basic, very conventional. Like, you know what he's gonna do. It's nothing out of the norm. Against a guy who's super creative, who you don't know where things are actually coming. If there's a kryptonite for both these guys, it's this. Because you know why? Because they both have power, and they both will take chances. But guys, who's more likely going to win? Yuri's been out for a very, very long time, but I've coached him, and I do believe, and he does have a south belief. I do believe that if he's able to bring the wrestling in with the tricky feet and be able to cover distance, stay away from that left hook, stay away from that leg kick, and use some of that wrestling like he did against Glover Teixeira, I could see him winning. So for that reason, guys, I think Yuri's smart. I think Yuri's super smart. But it's obviously I'm not going to fight for him. I want to put a few rubies in here. I'm not going to fight for Jiri Prochazka. But if I had to put my money, because I know him, because I know Jiri Prochazka, and I know what he's been about. And I didn't like, at first in the beginning, I didn't like the game plan with Glover. But when he was able to execute that, there's a self-belief to him that makes this dude dangerous. And I do believe that he's gonna go out there and literally take chances. He's gonna mix his fighting. You know, so for that reason, I am going for the last samurai for the championship belt. For the championship belt. A little gold medal here, bling bling. For the championship bout of the UFC, I'm going for Jiri Prochazka. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. You guys know that I will always deliver. A big thank you to our sponsor, that's right, Lifted Trucks. You may be a short king like Triple C. You may be 5'4", twisted steel and sex appeal, but guess what, guys? Out on the road, I'm about 8 feet damn tall. So make sure to go to liftedtrucks.com and get your lift on. I'm out!